I was like, oh yeah, what should I do? I
I
just
would have wondered the same thing. What did you decide?
um to be honest, I was literally going to start recording about talking about my experience before here. I went to a women's gathering. It was called yoga art, and I missed the art because I had to open the call. I wanted to come back home. We were in the middle of the forest, close to the beach. Reception wasn't going to be ideal, but we had this most beautiful centering, connecting to each chakra yoga session, and it was, when you yes, I'm aligned. I just loved it. It was so beautiful and present and beautifully guided. The name of the teacher was Karma. Uh, and at the end, she said, have we ever met? Like, it feels like we've met before. I know your face from somewhere. And we touched, places where we could have, but I don't think that we've been to the same places, but not at the same time.
Mm.
So it was, as I said to her at the end, it's like the more I walk this, the more I understand that we definitely met. If it wasn't in this lifetime, another. It
Wow.
was gorgeous.
That is so special. Does she do that regularly?
Well, no, she does yoga regularly, though for this particular thing, it was kind of a workshop that one of
Ah.
another mom friend um, that I've met. She's a shiatsu teacher and a shiatsu masseuse, a gorgeous artist, illustrator. The lady that made this.
Oh, I've always secretly wondered about that.
Yeah.
But when you have a moment, tell us about that.
Well, this was a gift of her to me for my birthday last year.
Ah.
And she we had a shiatsu session, and I talked to her about what Chusaroha and my intention was, my purpose was, right?
Mhm.
And um, always coming from the heart. Aroha in Maori means love.
Ooh.
So related to, let's call it my business, though my business is me. It's not a
Mm.
business. I don't, it's, I can't, the more and more understand it, it's what I bring. It's not a separate thing from me.
Ah.
I'm not
Uh-huh.
I'm
Uh-huh.
not feeling the disconnection that I used to feel when I was working for something else, someone else, right?
Ah. Ah.
Um, and she took a photo of me, and then I explained deeper, what is this connection from the heart, but bringing it to the earth. Um, and she came up with this.
Oh.
That's how she represented it.
Wow. That's
So
you.
that's me,
I
the
love
chubby,
it.
the chubby one.
That's beautiful.
Yes, yes. And well, and she was going to continue with the workshop today, but bringing the art to it. So
Oh.
with natural pigments from Earth, she was going to guide us. I don't know how, though I told her, okay, we'll meet during the week and you'll share a little bit of it so that I can bring it together for myself at home.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
So, what are you
Oh.
drinking?
That's my celery juice.
Very
Um,
good, healthy woman. That's
well, I learned about that in life. mastery in
Okay.
Fiji, and the medical medium whose name I can't think of suggests the celery juice every morning before you start eating anything else. You have to wait like 15 minutes to a half hour.
Yeah.
And my sweet husband made that for me this morning, as he does every morning. He's more of an early bird. My son starts work at 7, and he's been busy, and he's walked the dog, and he's done all these things, and brought me my celery juice, and told me my phone call was starting, and it's so
Woohoo! I
sweet.
love that
I
life.
know. He's really keeping me going.
Oh, it's romantic, it's loving, it's all,
Yeah,
isn't it? Oh, that's so nice.
I
I'm
know.
very
He's
happy for
he's
you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I'm very lucky in that way. Yeah, I mean, my son was getting up to a bit of mischief this week, and so I didn't
Mhm.
sleep that well in the night. And yeah, so there's that, and now I've just gone up to full time, and my body's just getting used to it. And it's time for my 2 monthly injection of biologics, because I take that for my condition. So yeah, so there's some inflammation, and that makes me tired more than anything else. Yes, it's painful, but the painful bit's not the bit that bothers me. It's feeling tired. But I have to say, I am, so it's just a minor adjustment, and I will get there, I know. And I feel like I have so much energy, and I'm enjoying work so much more, and I'm going, and I'm really proud of myself. And I did, yoga during the week even. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's just a little minor throwback of mine to just rock up to the meeting at the last minute. But I think I'm coping on a little bit of less sleep. Um, it's good. It's all happening. There's shifts happening. I know they are, and yeah. So
May
so
I
it's
ask
just,
if it's okay with you to
yeah.
share what's the condition that you're talking about?
It's called ankylosing spondylitis. So it's a arthritic sort of condition.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
Now I
mm, mm,
understand the pain.
mm. Yeah, yeah. So I've had it for many decades, really.
Mm.
So I it wasn't diagnosed though until recently. Um, and that's part of that is, and there's been a lot of advertising lately. It's building awareness around women and their um, health conditions, and it's typically thought of as a men's disease. So I
Okay.
was told I had chronic fatigue.
Okay.
And that was like, really? I just walked out of the GP's office going, that just pisses me off, and I, what are you talking about? Anyway,
Yeah.
so I've battled that for a long time, and I've really had a focus on my health lately, and a lot less dramas. There were a lot of stressful events actually that happened in my life, and so I was kind of just in the past, just getting through. And now I'm really focusing on myself. And of course, modern medicine has improved so much over the years and decades.
Mm.
Um, and so, yeah, so they figured out it's partly a genetic thing. They're finding the genes. They're, you know, um, there's a lot of great medication that wasn't around before. So I'm there. I think the main emphasis now is preventing, any further deterioration. So yeah, so that's why I'm going to the yoga, and it is not always very comfortable for me these days. But I know it's okay and a good thing that I'm doing. So just doing the best I can at it. Um, and I'm just really pleased with that and the results. And sometimes I feel like, um, well, my son's a physio, and he said, some people feel like because they have pain, they don't want to do it, and um, you just have to do it anyway. So that's what I'm doing. Um, on that, yeah.
Do you have you ever came across with it's very simple with grounding?
Well, no, what do you mean?
So in ancient traditions, especially shamanism and aborigines, um, what they used to do is literally at points where our body is very ill and has a lot of inflammation, specifically for inflammation, because there is this connection to inflammation igniting disease.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way for the medicine masters of aborigines, they would literally kind of bury the body of the people all the way up to their neck, right? So you kind
Oh,
of put yourself into the ground.
very literally.
Literally,
Correct.
yes, literally. And then they would cover.
Ah.
So and of course always leaving this space open, because the energy of the earth, what it does is it starts changing our electromagnetic field, our electrons, and therefore it reignites the life force. So a story that I've heard from the apart from shamanism that I've been across and I've worked with and I've studied, then nowadays is this also tool that a guy that has been working with electricity first and then realized, because he was part of a reserve, aboriginal reserve in the US, he connected all the things and all the dots and created this grounding mat. It's a sheet that
Oh.
goes on onto our beds, or you can buy the smaller ones. And if you are a lot on the computer, you put it just there or on your feet. And what it does is, because it's connected to the grounding part of the electricity, you know that all the house has to be grounded since the
Yep.
60s. So we connect that device directly to the grounding rod, and it brings the energy of the earth back onto that mat so that we can start releasing. And it's proven scientifically, so this is not that there are no research from it. Okay, you can see the
Wow.
people from before to the after on how the energy is flowing through their body.
Ah.
And so if you don't have the opportunity to purchase that mat, you literally go to earth and you sit down, either be under a tree or on your grass. If it can be
Ah.
directly to the soil, even better. Minimum 2 hours. We can begin with 5 minutes and then we start, right? But
Uh,
the truth
uh,
is that how many times in a week are you in contact with Earth?
mm, mm.
And if you realize that you are never in contact with Earth because you are wearing shoes that
Yes.
have plastic,
Yes.
and it's basically coming back to the
Ah,
connection to Mother Earth, which is
mm.
basically the stepping point to reignite the health within as well. That's something
Ah,
that for every person that I meet, I try to explain, because we tend to move away from that because we are in this busy world, right?
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and if I would have known this long time ago, maybe things would have been different for me. Um, it literally
Mm.
starts taking out the inflammation of the body.
Wow.
I'll
You
send
know
you the.
what?
I'll send you the. There is a movie about it, so a documentary. I'll send
Oh
you the
yeah. Yes,
documentary.
send the
So
link.
yeah, and you see if it resonates with you or not.
That is so interesting. You're right. And when I go out, yes, I'm always wearing shoes. Or sometimes we go to the beach. We take the dog to the beach and we always say, "Oh, that's our favorite part of the week," you know.
Yes.
It's the only time I was thinking about my whole week, and that would be the only time that I'm literally in contact.
Well, then if you set the intention as well, when you are
Uh-huh.
walking down the beach without shoes,
Yeah.
um, and you set the intention to release all the inflammation from your body while you are walking, um, it's kind of we connect because the mind interferes with the natural way of being.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So if we
Uh,
set an intention, we start bringing awareness to that that is actually a fact, and
uh,
we stop allowing the mind to say no because I have this and this is what is going to happen and this is how I'm going to
uh,
feel.
uh, uh.
Now we
Yeah.
are changing that and putting it as a behind the scenes, not forgetting,
Uh,
but
uh.
only refocusing towards what it's that you start believing that assists your body beyond as well as the medication.
Yes, yes. Okay. You know what? And people do say get out in nature more, and you kind of go, yeah, yeah, yeah. But when you explain it the way you did, oh yeah, yeah, nature. I do love nature, and but you don't do it. Um, but when you actually explain like how that's happening, that an extra little thing clicked in my mind, like
Nice.
extra an extra motivator, like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I understand now why a little bit better. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Good.
Because sometimes you think, I think, oh, getting out in nature is just nice because it's often associated with mindfulness. And I do a lot of other mindful things, and I'm looking at the nature now as I'm talking to you,
Yes.
and I'm getting that. It's lovely because our house is surrounded by nature, which is just what I need, and what I grew up with, and I don't feel good in cities. I need to see that. And also, I spent so many years in Central Australia, and I could see the whole sky
Oh,
wherever I was. I always saw all of it. And then sometimes for my work, we'd have to go to different cities. And I went to Melbourne, and everyone talks, oh, Melbourne, so fancy pantsy, the restaurants and whatever. And so I went to Melbourne, and I hated it. I had to, in Melbourne, you have to crook your neck like this just to see like this much sky between
no.
the buildings. And it was just the most awful experience. Um, yeah.
And kind of your body, yes, your body just tells you, oh, it's all good, beautiful, though. I need this.
Yeah. I didn't ever realize that I needed that until I went to Melbourne, and I'm like, Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
So, yeah, that resonated with me. Thank you.
mm, my pleasure.
Yes.
He even talks about his own experience when he was in the reserve and how there was this little girl with a very difficult disease, and they said she's gonna die, and they
Oh,
buried her for 3 days. Of course, in a shamanic way, you maintain circle, you stay with the
yep,
person.
yep.
It's all about energy
Okay.
and connection to everyone
Mm.
and everything. And within 3 days, she jumped out and started running around. So there has
Wow.
to be something there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
beautiful.
Mm.
And so Eric is not joining today. He shared it's a beautiful celebration for him.
Oh,
Um, he's I'm going to share it. Yes, it's 18 years since he's how do you say 18 years clean after
uh-huh.
all his journey.
Yes,
So
yes.
he's going into ceremony. It's actually a very important day for those that are not. It's still for us, though, on the 28th and throughout a few days before and a few days afterwards, there is this beautiful planetary alignment of seven planets. And it's something that only happens every 77 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's connected to a cycle of 300 years.
Mm.
So it's a beautiful moment of shift and reignition of what's coming next. Though we have
Mm.
those ones a lot throughout time
Yes.
and throughout the year. So yeah, it's feeling somehow quite auspicious for me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's interesting. It's happening just at his anniversary. That's lovely. Good for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, I think so. Hey,
Nice.
really
Yeah, yeah,
important.
yeah. Very much so.
Have you had the time to look into that form, into the for the magazine?
Oh, I
The,
haven't yet. No, no. I've got a whole lot of. Let me actually write it down because I'll write down what I'm gonna
I
do
would love to
today.
have you there too.
Yeah, yeah. I meant to do it. I just have to get caught up. Um, mm, all right, magazine form. I will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a few other things to do. And it's interesting this week, I've been noticing myself, and I don't, it's, this is an interesting part of my journey. I'm circling around and revisiting some things. So I was in, quite a negative relationship with my first husband. Not negative, but it was actually a very short marriage, and um, he had a history of alcohol use, and I knew that, but he wasn't using at the time, and I thought, oh, it'll be fine. Love will conquer all. Anyway, I learned the hard way. It didn't, and so I learned, but the amazing lesson that I learned from that was about setting boundaries.
Mhm.
but it was very, very hard, very challenging for me. And I learned it very well, but did also go ballistic in my boundary setting. And now I'm like refining that. And because it was more of a survival sort of boundary setting to protect me.
Mm,
Um, and and I cut like some people out of my life that I felt like, yeah, just uh, well, one of them being my stepsister, who I grew up with since babies and whatnot. Now she had some mental health issues, and she was from a teenager became very challenging. There's family history there, very challenging, and I was often giving and getting nothing back from her, and it was interesting because then eventually, and then we both had children, and then I would send things every year for kids' birthdays and Christmas and stuff. Never heard anything back, even to say they received it,
mm,
literally nothing. And then the last time, it's a big effort for me being in Australia to go visit the States because, I only have so much time off. I only have so much money. And so where I stop to see everyone, because all of my relatives are there, and also all of my husband's relatives are there. And so to see everyone and whatever. So the last time I made the effort to stop in her city, which was San Francisco, she's the only one in San Francisco, anywhere around that area. So, that's a pretty big deal for me. And I went, and I spoke to some other relatives after being there for 3 days, and they said, "Oh, so how's, so and so?" And I said, "Well," and these are her blood relatives. So I was all like, "Oh God, I don't like to not tell the truth, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. How do I put this?" So I said, "Well, you know, that's interesting because I spent 3 days with her, and I would have to say I'm not really any more certain than when I arrived." And they started cracking up, and they're like, "Us too." And I was like, "Oh, phew, I got through that one." But yeah, so that was her, and then eventually I just stopped contacting her, as you do.
Have you ever told her?
Well, okay, so I'm just getting started in the story.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, wait, there's more. So, she actually committed suicide in December recently. And that this was 6 weeks after her husband died. And then they've left a 18 and a 19-year-old. And so I went over this December, and these poor kids don't even know me. And they've been raised in this environment. Uh, so they're not. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. Oh, my sweet husband's just got me covered.
Yes,
He's just
more of this, please.
yeah. Um, so I went, and it's very challenging with these kids. They were raised in that environment, and I did eventually connect, but they're also in deep, deep trauma.
Yeah.
And so my challenge this week, coming back to that, is like, okay, so for example, the boy, I was there for 10 days. I literally saw him for about 5 minutes. Like, that's how avoidant he was. The girl, she was really trying, and it was good. We connected because all the week, I had to go through their finances on the computer and we were organizing things and there was much to do and she was trying but spent a lot of her time upstairs in her room and I think it was good because we built a rapport because I said this is really hard for you, isn't it? And I'm sorry that we have to be down here and doing all this and talking about all these things um and then eventually sort of on the last day we went. I kind of got as far as I could go and I was a bit fried and I'm like I'm just sitting here and I'm not really achieving much. And anyway, so we went out to lunch, just the two of us. And and through the week I've been sharing stories about myself and so forth, so that she just to disarm her a little bit as well as just get to know each other, just for her to see, it's okay, you don't have to be perfect and all together all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then the last day, she really shared a lot. She just was like diarrhea mouth. And some of it was really shocking for me, and so I was quite exhausted afterward. It was hard to hear what her life was like with her parents and that sort of thing. And so it was good. We really connected, and then and just threw a lot of positives at her and that sort of thing of the things of her strengths and whatnot. And but then since I've left, she hasn't, and she's done this with everyone, and they do. I was just prepared to bring them back to Australia if I needed to because we didn't know their resources, but we really connected at all the dots when we were there, and I got a whole list of their supports and so forth. So they're staying where they are, and uh, they have an aunt and uncle in New York. And those aunt and uncle they did know that was on their dad's side. Oh, thank you, sweetie. And so anyway, so they do have that support, but they're not really kind of responding even to them, which is kind of just the way they've always been. So my challenge, well, that whole story is I'm if I have to be honest with myself, I'm finding it bit challenging to keep putting it out there, and even though there's no response, but I know in my heart that is more the right thing to do. And I've sent her little things and her birthday's coming up next week and whatnot, so I'm just gonna keep trying. But I was thinking, long term, how long am I going to be able to do this? And in 5 years, am I going to be able to keep doing this? In 10 years? And I uh it's different because it's not about protecting myself so much anymore, which in the past it was setting boundaries. So I feel like that, but that was it with my stepsister because I just sort of lumped everybody in the same category, like, oh, I'm wasting too much energy on people who don't give back. But in my heart, I feel like mm, it's about doing it so safely. So I'm not, I think that what it is, yeah, not feeling like it's diminishing my energy. Anyway, I'm just putting it out there that I've been thinking about that a lot this week, and sometimes I find it more challenging than other moments about keeping that connection.
If I reflect on that for myself this week, I felt in a complete different scenario.
Hmm.
I felt kind of the same way. as in, okay, how much time of myself I invest into certain things,
Mm, mm,
right?
mm.
And the there are two things I've learned with time, that expectation never really gets met.
Mm.
Therefore, if I give, I'm not giving from the moment of I'm expecting that because I'm giving, I'm receiving
Yes.
in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
The truth for me is that when I give, the universe, whatever we believe or not believe, our energy will bring back whatever we are giving from any other place. As
Mm-hmm.
long as
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving from the heart without expecting the other one to give me back,
Yes.
then it's gonna come. Now,
Yes.
if
Yes.
I'm draining myself, and that's what my question during this week for myself, am I actually giving, and I'm missing the chance of nurturing myself at the same time because I'm giving this time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my answer to that, when I ignite that question in me, was actually what I'm giving makes me feel thrilled,
Mm.
comfortable, happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving from lack, I'm giving from abundance. That's
Yes.
why you are in, and I'm going to come back to you with a lot of respect. That's why you are feeling so much energy.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
The first
Yes.
thing that you said is that I'm doing a lot, and I'm feeling energetic. Even
Yes.
though I am doing all this, I am still
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
So that's, for me, in my case, that's showing my balance. Like,
Mm.
how am
Mm.
I, where am I at when I'm doing these things?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you described it beautifully as well at the beginning when you said, um, I used to set boundaries, and the boundaries I set were just because I was in fight or flight. I
Mm. Mm.
was protecting myself from that. That's why I cut.
Yes. Yes.
Now you are in a position where you're not protecting yourself from anything. Your boundary is
Mm.
coming from love to yourself,
Mm. Mm.
and then
Mm.
love to others.
Mm.
Doesn't really matter how many more years we are going to see ourselves doing it into the future. The truth is that,
Mm.
what are we choosing now? Am I still
Mm.
choosing for myself? And I'm talking about myself this week. Am I still
Mm.
choosing to do this and keep giving to this, and this, my time, my love, my whatever?
Mm.
Or
Mm.
or should I bring back a little bit of that to myself, and and then I act?
Mm. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yes. Yes. And so long as I'm doing all my self-care and that, I have plenty to give,
Yes,
which is what I want to do. That's what's in my heart, you know.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we will, especially with teenagers, I think,
Mm.
um, we will we will never see the things in the way they do. We
Mm.
will never reach a point where they will talk to us in the way we think that they should be talking to us or
Mm.
engaging with
Mm.
us. And
Mm.
that comes, and I'm going to drop the teenage thing, and I think that I will expand it to people
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
children,
Yeah. Yeah.
every human
Yeah.
being.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Can I share with you the phrase for today?
The what?
The phrase for today.
Oh, oh
Remember that
yes,
last
yes,
time I
yes,
said a
yes,
phrase
yes.
on the okay.
Uh-huh.
So in my feeling is that it's actually slightly aligned with what we are talking about.
Nice.
It says, miracles can happen in a moment and come out of the blue, or I can deliberately orchestrate them slowly over time by steadily working towards a goal. And the action for the weekend, for the week, for whatever, for today,
Mm,
is let me remember that slow and steady can be a miraculous combination. I'll
mm.
look back at a goal I've made miraculous progress on and use it as an inspiration for something I want to work on and accomplish in the future.
You are magic. I'm stealing yours as well again this week.
The calendar is magic, and my daughter for bringing it to my life. So, yeah.
Oh, is that on your calendar? I
Yes, this
want
is
it.
an action calendar.
Want that calendar. Send
Yes.
me. I'm gonna go order it online or
Yeah, I'll
something.
send it to you. I think that
Okay.
it's very powerful. It's so aligned to every day I
That was
open a page.
you,
And
you.
there for me there are no coincidences.
You spoiled the surprise because I really was like, Jesus, you're so eloquent. I
Oh
now,
well,
now you've told me.
if I have to take credit of these, this is for yesterday, not for us today. I chose to say this one today, and
Oh, okay,
yes, I
okay.
am part of the miracle. We are all. You are. You
Yeah, you
ignited
are.
this conversation, my dear. It's all. I look. I met Eric on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I knew from before, but it was very perfect, was um, understanding that even the flight attendant that was there came and interrupted at the right time, in the right way, with the right subject, and things started. They move at a pace that it's indescribable. We cannot really, when we start controlling, and I'm going to go back to maybe what you've talked about, the mischievous of your child. When we start trying to control everything that is around us, we suffer because
Mm,
we are
mm,
not meant to. With that
mm,
doesn't mean that we are going to be blind to things that are harming ourselves or others, right?
mm, mm,
Always with that distinction.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
We are all part of this gorgeous way of
mm,
life if we let it.
mm, mm, mm. Yes, yes. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. It was so cute. Yes, yesterday even him I was walking with him. He lost the ball for the dog. So we went to look for it. And the dog found it actually. But of course, as they do. And then we're walking back and he actually told me the truth of what the mischief was up to.
Mm.
Uh, because I said, are you sure? Because he told me another story. I said, it's okay, you can tell me. Because are you sure that's what really happened? And so we had a really good chat about it, and he was just on a roll. It's like he wants to share and get it off his chest. So then the dog lead fell out of my pocket because, of course, I never followed the rules and always let my dog off the lead because it hurts me to put that lead on. Anyway, so
Hear you.
so he, so then we turn around. I go, oh no, I lost the lead. Got to go back. And he goes, oh, that's okay. We have more time to talk. I mean, how often does a teenager say that to their parents? You know, it was gold.
That's because you're holding space for him to be. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah, it was really nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mama. I hope
Oh,
I can
thank you.
mirror that when mine is 18.
How old are yours again?
9. Have a
9.
long way to go.
Oh, yeah, I remember 9. It kind of starts about then.
That's it. Okay, good to know.
Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a girl.
Girl. Yeah, those hormones start. They get have you gotten attitude yet? Is this a new attitude yet?
It comes and goes, and it's not an attitude. It's more what I feel is a lot about her owning who she is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's
It's
beautiful.
yes, and also mirroring mama, so I can
Oh.
see. Ah, that's okay. Yes, that's me. I'll bring it back. You be you. Let's deal with that.
Oh, that's cute. Nice, nice. I love it. It's such a journey, huh?
It is.
Magic.
It is. And also it's for me is allowing her to be so that she will have to experience whatever she has to experience, and the more and more I we walk together, I can see that things keep coming no matter where she is. She needs to experience the same type of pattern and behavior of others,
Yeah.
of herself. It's
Mm,
there.
mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
and um I am working a lot with myself to make sure that I don't pass any shit. to
Yeah, yeah.
each one will have to work, but I know also, and I know also that the more I own myself and I love myself and I do
Mm,
the things that I need to do for myself, the easier things unfold. Like you said last time, you said exactly the same last call. The more
mm,
we flow with ourselves, the easier things start moving around of us.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah.
Get out, take it out.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
I love it. Oh man, this call is just gold. You're gold. Thank
Oh, you too,
you.
my dear. I'm very grateful that you joined. I really thought,
Yeah.
oh, maybe.
Yeah. Sorry I was late.
Oh, no, no, please don't even go there. No, no.
Uh, well, I might wrap it up because obviously I'm still in my pajamas and
You're
I
going to
do,
yoga?
yes, I do want to get to my yoga.
There
Yes.
you go. Go ahead.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Jackie.
you. You too. I really, really love this. It's the best part of my week.
Oh, thank you.
Take care.
Enjoy your week. Bye
All
bye.
right. Thank you. You too. Bye bye.